Welcome to Attleboro Update. Earlier this week, citizens across the nation had a chance to have input on who should represent them in government on both national and local levels. Political newcomer Paul Heroux was elected by the people of Attleboro to represent the city in the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Paul defeated veteran politician George Ross with 58% of the vote. We spoke with him to find out more about how he plans to improve the city of Attleboro and help its residents as a representative.
Election night, after the polls closed, I went over to Moran's, because there's a little Democratic Party over there, and I got a text message saying that I won Ward 2A and 2B, and I said, oh, that's interesting. First thing I thought of is, let's confirm that, and so I contacted a couple folks and said, can you confirm that for me? And then I got another text message that said I won Precinct 4A, and so again I said, confirm that for me. And, at this point I was kind of, when I saw the margins, I was quite surprised, how much it was I won that by. And as my results trickled in, it was more of, another precinct, another ward. And so, we just, eventually we, it was, clear that I won the race. The idea that I won all 11 precincts, that was a shock. I didn't think that was going to happen. And I also was really surprised to, win by the margin I did. George and I were targeting the same voters, and I think that he had a good strategy, I had a good strategy, and it was the same folks that were we were looking for to earn the votes of. And what happened was, though, I think it was my message that prevailed overall, because throughout the campaign, the element that I heard was, George, this is what George has done in the past, re-elect me. What I was talking about is, this is what I'm going to do in the future, please elect me. And, I think it was that message that had a lot to do with the victory. And, another element that I heard over and over again was, let's get some fresh blood in there. I heard over and over that George is a nice guy. I like him, I know him, known him for a long time, but it's time for some fresh blood in there. We really need to know what works and what doesn't, so we can continue to do what works and then reform what doesn't. The way I'm going to go about this is attach performance measures to our spending bills, as well as to look at what we're spending money on right now, and go ahead and mandate, like file legislations that are going to mandate reports. Every state agency per Mass General Law is required to have a performance measurement or a research division, so there's not going to be any extra costs associated with this. They just have to be told what to do. It has to be a matter of law, because if we don't tell them to do this, then they are, well, as of right now, they're not doing it. The real work begins now. What just happened, the past several months was just a interview process, and the voter was the hiring committee, and I was the applicant. And so I interviewed with them, they've hired me for the job, and now, I've got a 2-year term, and now I need to see if I can, make the most out of those 2 years. I want to first start putting together a lot of, the ideas I had, that I campaigned on, put them in, basically bill fashion, so that way I can, as soon as I enter on day one, I can just file a bunch of bills, and then start work. Once they're filed, then I have to work to start getting them passed by the House, so that way they can eventually become law. That's one thing that I need to do. There's a lot of other people that, when I knocked on doors, they said, okay, I have this problem, this issue, this is a concern, that, and so there's a lot of things, and I kept track of it, as far as I can remember, everything. I wrote everything down. So there's a lot of people I need to follow up with and ask for, a little bit more detail, what exactly you're looking for, so that way I can, follow up with the constituent services that I was talking about and running on. The committees I would like to be on are going to be, involve criminal justice and public safety. I've got a lot of background in that, and I can offer a lot of experience, leadership, and direction in that area. Mental health and substance abuse, very important as well. It's another committee I'd like to be on. Anything to do with budget, taxes, ways and means, revenue, financing, any committee that involves that, because I've got a lot of background with, looking at cost-benefit analyses of programs, and, just looking at the economy in general. And, transportation, that's going to be an important one, because Attleboro is a hub of transportation. Attleboro has 2 MBTA rails, we, commuter stops. We have 95 that cuts right through us. We have Route 1, which is very big here. 495 is just down the way. So that's also going to be very important. Those are just to name a few. Some counselors might have a lot of, Cooper, for example, he has a lot of experience with healthcare. He's a registered nurse. Peter Blair, for example, is, he has a lot of experience with small business ownership. So, there's going to be times when, we defer to, each other and, to, work forward on a common issue, like to push a, legislative agenda. There's going to be times where, like I said, they know a lot more about a lot more things than I do. And, I look forward to working with them on that. I have my campaign team to, thank for this, but most importantly, the voters who elected me and, who are trusting me. And I hope not to let them down. I hope to do a good job and, hope to make them proud because I'm representing them on Beacon Hill.